The last thing I remember hearing was, That's exactly what I said. I was like, He was like, what happened? I was like, I could feel you cutting me open. Like, I felt him. I felt my stomach pop open at the bottom. Like, yo, I will never forget that pain. Like,
look, come here, baby, let me crumble your cookie.
Okay, guys, so today I'm gonna be opening up to you guys about my pregnancy, how it happened, my reaction to it, life after my pregnancy, motherhood, you know, in the present right now, like how has it been for me. I just want to take a moment and talk to you guys about this. You know, today's video is not really, you know, nothing got to do with the holidays, even though my pregnancy did happen around Christmas, but it's still a little holiday video for me, but whatever. So we're gonna get right into this video. When I got pregnant, I was 19. People judging me, backlash, how is my family gonna take it, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the time I wasn't thinking about anything. And the reason why I say that is because when I met my son's dad, I was only with him 3 months into me getting pregnant. I had a pregnancy scare like before I found out I was actually pregnant in like October or November. I think it was in November. It was November. So I took a pregnancy test in November and it was false. I took it at my job because at the time I was working at a supermarket. I took it at my job and it was negative. I actually went to Dollar Tree and bought a pregnancy test and it came back negative. So I was like, okay, cool. You know, I left it alone, told him about it. He was like, you know, I told you. He sweared on his life that he could not make kids, and it was just hilarious. I'm like, okay, whatever. We end up, you know, October was maybe like the month where we was just like, fuck it, we don't care, whatever, it is what it is. Like, we weren't thinking about being safe, being honest, like we weren't thinking. So that's why in November when I took the test, you know, I was like, all right, but I think I took it too early. So I feel like in November I was pregnant, but I took the test too early to figure it out. I waited. I missed my period in November, so now we hitting in December. So my period was supposed to come the ending of November and it didn't come. So when I took it, it was negative. I was like, okay, kind of didn't sit right with me, but I was like, all right, my gut is telling me something. I know that it is what it is, you feel me? So I just waited and I waited. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna wait a week extra or 2 weeks and take another one. Yeah, I waited a week or two. I ended up going back to Dollar Tree. I did not spend my money on Clear Blue. And so when I got back to his place, I ended up taking a test in the bathroom. And the test was positive. I was sitting on the toilet for like 30 minutes just there like, what the fuck am I gonna do? What am I gonna say? Who am I gonna tell right now? Like, I was just in awe. Like, I kind of wasn't shocked because I knew what we was doing and I figured it was gonna happen, but then it was kind of like, like maybe it won't, you feel me? Maybe it will miss. So I kind of had mixed emotions about it, but mainly I wasn't mad about it because I know that, you know, these are the consequences for what you do, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ended up going to show him. So when I showed him, he was like, oh shit, like, you know, he was asleep, so his reaction kind of wasn't a reaction until he actually fully woke up, and you know, he was happy about it. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, he was mad or whatever. Like, we was just both like, damn, what we gonna do, you feel me? Like, that's it. But he wasn't mad about it. We end up saying like, yeah, we're gonna wait to see what we're gonna do and figure it out. So because at the point I didn't know if I wanted to get an abortion, I didn't know if I wanted to keep it, I didn't know what I want to do. So we were planning to wait to decide until like Christmas or whatever to figure out what we really want to do, so it could be like a, hey, we're pregnant type thing. So yeah, we ended up running into his mom that same day I took the test, and she came downstairs and she was like, hey, you know, I had a dream that you guys were getting married. And you know, when people say they dream about certain things, it's because of a reason, you know. People be like, oh, I dream see fish, that means somebody's pregnant. Or I dream see somebody getting married, which means somebody's about to die, you know, like one of those type of dreams. So I'm like, okay. But in my head I was like, I thought getting married. You see somebody get married, I think that means somebody gonna die. Like, I ain't know that's it, that pregnancy. I ain't know. Like, I don't know. I looked at her and I looked at him and we made eye contact and we looked back at her and we was just there and we was just standing there looking so awkward and weird. And she was like, what is wrong with you guys? Y'all, why you guys look like that? So yeah, we was about to leave the house. So she looked at me. She was like, are you pregnant? I started crying instantly and I was just shaking my head like, yeah. She was like, I told you to let her finish school and don't do this, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, she was just saying what mothers would say. He was just saying like, he got it. You know, I got it. I got her. Whatever. After I completely found out that I was actually pregnant, I came home. And the first day I took the test, I was planning on coming home and telling my mom because that's all I was thinking about. Like, what am I going to tell my mother, you know? For guys, it's different. It's not the same for females, you know, that's actually going to carry the kid. When you're a mother and you have a son and your son say, hey, ma, I just got a female pregnant. You don't got to see him walking around the house with no belly. Like, with the moms, that have the daughter, you got to actually see the daughter walking around, you know, in that type of situation. So it's gonna be in your face, you know. With the son, it's not gonna be in your face unless you bring that female in the mom's face. So it was different. It's different for me than it was different for him. Yeah, I came home and I was gonna go in my mom's room or whatever. So she was on the phone and I didn't even get to tell her. Like, I was just standing there and I kind of went in kind of like, you know, sad, like kind of like, shit. I was scared, not gonna lie, I was scared. So yeah, my mom was like, you pregnant? That's the first thing she said to me. She didn't even say nothing. She didn't say anything else. And I just shook my head. Same thing I did to his mom, I did to my mom. I was like, yeah. And she kind of looked away, like, you know, I can only imagine what was going through her mind. So I came in my room and I was just in my room for like hours. She didn't really say anything to me. And then, you know, she texted me and basically we spoke about the situation like through text. And you know, certain things was said, certain things I said, and you know, a little argument happened in between that time and stuff because, you know, of course she's gonna be mad. She's gonna be mad that her daughter is pregnant. And I didn't tell nobody in my family, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't tell nobody. So eventually I went ahead and I set an appointment to go get checked. My first appointment was January 11th in 2018. And my doctor, he was the best, you know what I'm saying? He's the best. Sweet, love him. Like, he was just the best. And that's a person I will always go to if I ever get pregnant again. He's the person I'm going right back to because he did everything that he's supposed to do. And yeah, everything was great, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, with that being said, I went ahead and checked. I think when I got there, I was already like 3 weeks pregnant. You know, he told me like, hey, you're 3 weeks pregnant, you're about to hit a month. So yeah, that whole time in November, I was definitely pregnant. And I took the first test and that shit said negative, so I only assumed that I took it too early. You know, I was still working, I was still going to school. I think I stopped going to school and stopped working when I was 5 months pregnant. All of that happened. My family still kind of didn't know because I didn't tell anybody. But when I got the phone call and everybody was like, why didn't you tell us? I just told them, like, I just know everybody's going to judge me. Like, I'm 19 and pregnant. Who's not going to judge me? Who's not going to say anything? You feel me? That's just society. That's the world. That's family. And I'm not only saying my family, a lot of people's family was the same, like, it's the same way. When they're a young kid or there's a young person in the family gets pregnant, they're all gonna have that type of judge, you know, they're gonna judge you or have backlash or be like, why did you do this or whatever, you know? Eventually they'll get over it because when the kid comes, it's gonna be a different story. But you know, they're not gonna be mad forever, but they're gonna remember, like, hey, you know, she was pregnant at this age. You gonna always remember because my son is here with me, you know? My family didn't handle it bad. They were just mad at the fact that I didn't tell them right away. And honestly, like I said, I didn't tell them because I felt like I was gonna get judged. So that's the only reason why I held back. And they were like, when were you gonna tell us? And I was like, I honestly did not know when I was gonna say anything. Like, I didn't tell them. I only assumed that my mom went and said something because I never picked up my phone like, hey, I'm gonna call my aunt, my uncle, my grandma and be like, yeah, I'm pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never was gonna do that. Eventually it got out to the family, and then I was like, oh God, like, you know, I got a phone call, and then it's still spending more time with my son's dad. But like I said, we were only together for 3 months, so we were kind of getting to know each other through the pregnancy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was through the pregnancy and after the pregnancy. We didn't give each other enough time to get to know each other before I got pregnant. We were still learning each other and finding out about each other while we were, you know, while I was carrying his child, you know. So the relationship still wasn't bad after, you know, I was growing and, you know, getting, you know, having a baby almost and stuff. It still wasn't bad. It was still good, because at the end of the day, we at our honeymoon stage, you feel me? Like, we still doing well. We ain't rocky. With that being said, that's how everybody found out. And it's funny because I was going to tell my sister before I told my mom, but I think I told my sister, like, hey, I got something to tell you, but I didn't fully get to tell her. So when I went in my mom's room, my mom was like, yeah, you're pregnant. Like, that's basically what she did. Like, girl, I know you pregnant. Like, you don't got to tell me. I was going to tell her first, but I didn't get to because my mom found out, and I was like, oh, she's going to go and she's going to tell her. Like, she's going to tell her anyway. So, like, what's the point? You know, months went by. I had a lot of, like, you know, family issues. Like, of course, you know, my mom was still upset about it. She wasn't, you know, the best at, like, damn, you know, because it falls on her too as well, you know. It falls on her. It definitely falls on my mom too. So I understand why, you know, she got mad at the fact that I did, you know, get pregnant, or I wasn't safe, or I decided to have a baby. Like, I understand her disappointment, you know, to this day. Like, I understand that, because now I have a child. And I see certain things, and like certain things that my mom did when we were kids. I understand why she did it. And, you know, like I said, I understand her. I understand her 100% because now I'm a mother, you know? So I get it. So yeah, my pregnancy was well. Like, everything was good. No scares. Like, oh yeah, like, my baby's not moving, whatever, whatever. Like, he was always moving. I was always eating. Like, I didn't have stretch marks until like 38 weeks. I was so upset, you guys. Like, I don't understand. Like, I had no stretch marks at all until the ending of my pregnancy. Like, I thought I was gonna survive. Like, even my doctor said it. He was like, wow, you don't have no stretch marks at all. I'm like, yeah. Like, I was like, this is so wow. Like, I'm so happy. Yeah, we jinxed that real quick. And it was just like, all right, you feel me? Like, we jinxed that way too fast. So yeah, every time I went to go get my checkups and stuff like that, he told me what I need to be eating, and he was like, oh, you know, whatever you're doing, keep doing it, because everything looks fine. I wasn't eating no fruits. I was not eating no vegetables. I was eating straight junk food. So whatever I was doing, it was working, and that's exactly what I was doing. I was not eating no healthy meal. Like, I was eating healthy meals when I was pregnant, but I was busting down some food, okay? Like, straight like that. Soda is the only thing I gave up. Like, soda and juice, I gave up like a lot during my pregnancy, because I was like, damn, like, it's jaundice, I think it's called. So yeah, I didn't want to witness seeing my son in an incubator and having to go visit him at the hospital and seeing him in there for like a month or two, because I chose to have a bad eating habit when I was pregnant, you know. Asking people like, oh, how was your pregnancy, blah blah blah, whatever whatever. But a lot of people's pregnancy was different. Like, you know, I never sat down and watched like giving birth videos, and I never went to no classes. Like, I didn't do none of that. I just had my baby. Like, I had both side of families, and they were like giving me advice. I had my mom's side of family, and then I had my son's dad's side of family. They were giving me advice, and, you know, about how they all were when they were pregnant, and, you know, how they felt, and different here and there. Now we're down to labor. And before I get into the labor, I'm gonna, like, you know, talk about the appointments that I had. Most of the appointments I had, they were 100% like wonderful. The last appointment that I had, my doctor was like, you don't have enough iron in your system or whatever like that, so we're gonna just have to figure out, like, you know, what's going on. He was like, you know, you might end up having to have a C-section, because I think my son was a certain way. He was like, yeah, you might have to end up having a C-section, but we don't know yet. So, you know, we're just gonna make sure. At this time, I'm like 2 weeks away from giving birth. Before I went into labor, I was actually at my son's dad's house, and I kept having like these pains. Like it was like these pains and those contractions, and I was like, oh my god. Like, you know, I called my mom and told her. My mom was like, you need to bring your behind home. Like, you need to come home. You feel me? So, and she was like, yeah, you need to come home. Anyways, I left my son's dad playing Fortnite. So yeah, I ended up going home. At this time, my phone bill had to be paid, so I had no phone. I was living off Wi-Fi in my house. So my phone went off midnight. I came home at 9 o'clock at night. My phone was still good. It was working and stuff. So I started having these crazy contractions around like 1 in the morning, and then it was all night. But when you have contractions, baby, those contractions feel like they lasted a whole hour, the way they hurt. Okay, when it stopped, I was so thankful, but when it came back, I'm like, nah. I was like, these is coming back way too often. So I started knocking stuff over in my room because I was in pain. Like, them shits was no joke. So I was like, you know, my mom came to my room and she was like, what happened or whatever like that, like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. I'm trying to keep it together. Whatever, you know, at this time I'm just annoyed. So I go to the bathroom now. I'm about to go, you know, do number one. So I'm wiping and I'm like, why is there like blood and like something else? And so whatever I seen on the tissue, because I want to give y'all too much detail. Y'all like, girl, she's mad dirty, like, you know what I'm saying? So whatever I seen on the tissue, I looked it up. It was my mucus plug. When I seen the mucus plug on the tissue, I was like, my mom was like, yep, you're about to have that baby. And I was like, oh my god. She was like, yep, that's a sign of labor is about to come. Like, I was like, shit. My mom kept calling my son's dad. He was not answering, and I was like, oh my god, this is just the worst right now. This is the worst. So anyways, we left that man 60 calls, okay, 60 to 70 missed calls, and he did not answer one because he stayed up all night playing Fortnite, not thinking like, okay, she's gonna go give birth. You know, nobody was thinking that. Nobody was prepared. Nobody was ready. So his phone was on silent. That irritated me because I'm like, yo, where is he? Like, what the hell? So I ended up at the hospital, like, I know 4 in the morning. Like, I had like really, really bad contractions at 4 in the morning. So my mom was like, you can't go right now because you're not even dilated enough. So if they see that you're not dilated enough, they're gonna send you back home. Like, so I was like, oh my god, like, I can't come back home. This baby gotta get out. You feel me? You gotta get out. So she was like, let me call the cab because my son's dad wasn't answering. So I had to take a cab to the hospital. So my mom and sister was there with me. And yo, my contractions was hitting. I was in this pink old grandma dress, and I was just so mad because I'm like, why do I look like this? I had my braids in. I had like these, you know, the braids that comes to the front, and then all of them is like down the back, and it had blue in it. First of all, I wanted to do my hair before my pregnancy and everything. I was looking so chopped, you guys. Like, I be seeing females do their makeup before they give birth and all of that. I'm just like, girl, like, I'm not doing that. Like, I know y'all want to look lit with y'all first kid or whatever, but I'm not doing that. When pain hit me, I don't care about no makeup, no looking cute, no none of that. No, I don't give a damn about what outfit I'm wearing. I don't care. Like, and that goes for not even only pregnancy. That's all type of pain. Your menstrual cycle pain, all of that. Like, all of that. You feel me? Like, when a female have her monthly, those pains be hitting. I don't care about how I look during them pains either. Like, they serious, okay? So yeah, I ended up getting to the hospital. They were like looking at me like, girl, like, I came in there and I was so mad. Like, I was so upset. I'm like, oh, like, I'm in the cab, my sister was rubbing my leg like, are you okay? Calm down, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh my god, this pain is hitting me. At this time, it's like, I think it was like 8:30 or 9 in the morning. So they put like these 2 things on me to see, like, you know, how, I guess, how the baby sounds and what's going on. And she checked to see how much I'm dilated. I was only 2 centimeters dilated. Like, I'm like, not all this pain and I'm only 2 centimeters dilated. Y'all got me. So I'm like, damn, my mother was right. They really might send me back home. So anyways, they was like, yeah, we might have to send you back home because your mucus plug is like, well, not your mucus plug, but like, you're not dilated enough, and there are other females here that have to go in before you, and they might be dilated more than you. And I'm just looking at her like, girl, like, I don't care. I don't care what you're talking about right now. Like, I don't care. So anyway, she was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go call your doctor. Hurry up, call my doctor. Let's see what he says, because if he says send me back home, I'm gonna have an attitude. Like, y'all gonna make me give birth in my house, because that's what's gonna be the next step. My doctor was like, you know, just make her go get something to eat, and when she comes back, you guys can recheck again what's going on. He told them to, like, you know, make her like walk up and down, you know, try to, you know, find a way to open me up or whatever. And I'm like, oh, whatever. At this point now, we at the pizzeria. Oh, let me tell y'all, my son's dad finally called back, you know, and this was after I got out the room. He came, I believe this is after I got out the room. So yeah, we all were at the pizzeria together. Me, my mom, him, we ate. My sister, we ate. We went. So there's a steep hill that the hospital I was at, it was a steep hill. So all of us was walking down the hill, walking up, just so, you know, stuff could function and I could get my son to move and whatever. Let me tell you something, like, I really cannot, like, I can't, because I was just like, is this ever gonna happen? Like, is it gonna happen? I'm not gonna have this kid today? Like, what's gonna happen? So I was tired, so I went back inside and I went back upstairs to the room that I went in at 9 in the morning, and they told me I wasn't dilated enough. I had to go back in there. So when I went back in the room, they were like, oh, the 2 rooms are filled, so you're gonna have to wait out here or whatever. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm sitting down, waiting. 30 minutes past, nothing. 20 extra minutes past, nothing. So I was like, I told my son's dad, I'm like, yeah, I think I want to get up and walk around the hallway while I'm waiting, so, you know, I could get him moving so he can get out. So he was like, all right. So started walking around the hallway, walked around. I felt a big ass splash on the floor. First of all, the way that whatever it was that fell out of me, it felt like a water balloon was coming from my throat all the way down to my area, and it was splattered out, and it was in the hallway. I was so embarrassed, so I looked down. Some lady was like, oh my god, her mucus plug just came out. She was mad loud. I'm like, shorty, thank you for freaking telling the whole universe. Like, why are you so loud and extra? You're so annoying. Like, in the back of my mind, that's what I was saying. I didn't say it to her, but I was looking at her like, girl, thank you. You feel me? Like, thank you. Me being mad dramatic, I start crying. I start, you know, my son's dad is like, calm down. Like, I start crying. My mom and sister is like, oh, like. So once that happened, here they go. Oh, we're gonna take you upstairs to labor and delivery department, because yeah, I'm gonna need you to sign these papers, and you gotta sign this, and you gotta sign this, and you gotta. I'm looking at them like, girls was taking mad long. Y'all was taking mad long. Now y'all want me to sign papers and send me upstairs in a wheelchair because y'all seen that my mucus plug just came out. Like, hurry up. Like, y'all are getting me tight. Right, I signed what I had to sign because I was about to tell them get the fuck out my face with that. Like, I'm feeling mad pain right now. At this point, the pain is getting worse. Like, my contractions is hitting. They hitting. I'm like, y'all need to get out my face. Like, that's it. So I signed the papers, went upstairs, they put me in a room or whatever, and I was just like, I cannot deal with this. Like, the pain was just crazy. So they put me in this little room before I got to the room where I had to deliver. That's where I was. Like, you know, I think those are the delivery rooms, if I'm not mistaken, but I wasn't really sure, because I think when I went in the room, it had like where the baby is gonna be, like, after he gets out. They got this little basket. So yeah, they was preparing, like, and the same day when I went in, it was August 9th. Mind you, my son, like, my son's birthday is August 10th. When I first found out I was pregnant and he gave me the delivery date on when I was gonna have him, he definitely said August 10th. My doctor was like, yeah, you're gonna have this kid on the 10th of August, and yeah, that's that. Like, and he was right. He was he was right. He was on the money. When I went in, it was August 9th. And I was there all day, all day. I was in labor for 24 hours. Because when I started feeling my contractions, it was like, when I felt my contractions, I was at his house. And then he took me home. And that was like 9 o'clock at night. And then at 1 o'clock in the morning, it started getting serious. And at 4, it was just like, it was just doing too much. So yeah, y'all could practically say I was in there for over 24. I was in labor for over 24 hours. Cause what the heck? I ended up taking an epidural because I couldn't deal with the pain. Like, so my son's dad, he kind of was like in disappointment because I took the epidural. Like, first of all, this is not your body, it's mine. I'm the one going through the pain, not you. If you want to know how it feels, be my guest. You feel me? Be my guest. I took it, I don't care, but it didn't really help with the pain in the woman area part, but it helped with the pain, like, you know, in only like in the stomach area, I could say. But yeah, when they came, I felt it like on my area. I'm like, oh my god, like the pain is down there still and I feel it. I'm thinking it's gonna help with the whole thing, but it helped. I'm not gonna lie, the epidural did help somewhat, some way. After all of that, my doctor ended up coming, and it was maybe like 7 o'clock in the night, and he checked. He was like, you're still not dilated enough, you're only like 3 centimeters dilated at this point. I'm like, oh my god. So at this point, I'm hot, I'm catching a fever. They got me eating icy. At this point, I done threw up the pizza that I ate. All right, they were giving me icy, like, yeah, she needs to, you know, get better, whatever, like, we need to get this going. He was like, I'm gonna leave, go shower, and come back. Like, he left, went home, came back. He was thinking I was gonna be ready to like give birth. He came back at 12:40 in the morning. Mind you, it's August 10th now. He checked. He was like, you're still not dilated, your fever is getting higher, you gotta have an emergency C-section. I'm like, oh my god, this is so annoying. So I started crying instantly. My mom and sister just looking, everybody's all sad. So yeah, doctor was like, yep dad, you gotta gear up. And yeah, he gave him the thing to go over his clothes, little cap, surgeon cap, tie up his shoes and everything. So when I went into the C-section room, they pushed me like in the bed. They pushed me into the room so I could have the emergency C-section. And I was so sad because, like, you know, they always say like pregnancy is the closest thing to death's door. So when my mom like see me go in the room, like everybody was so sad and so scared, like what the hell. Like I started crying, and my mom was like, you know, I love you and you're gonna be fine and stuff like that. And I just started like tearing up because I'm like, I do not know, like what if I don't wake up? You feel me? Like I was scared. I got in the room, and first of all, there was an African nurse, and she was getting me tight. Like she was doing too much. Yeah, she put the anesthesia over my face, and I'm like, girl, calm down. Like you're rushing, you're doing everything right now, you're rushing. I understand, like it's an emergency C-section and you got to keep it pushing because my fever can affect my baby, and I understand y'all trying to take him out before anything, but y'all need to calm down because what y'all not gonna do is be roughing me up. I guess my son's dad was like recording and stuff, and she was trying to like take his phone, and he basically told her like, don't touch my phone. Like what is wrong with you? It's my son, and if I want to record him, I'm gonna record him. So my doctor didn't say nothing because my doctor was like, this is their first time, they're new parents, like what the hell, they don't know no policy, no rules. This is not that, this wasn't told to us at this time. I didn't hear none of this because I'm under anesthesia, so I'm slowly falling out. Like they put that thing over my face and I'm breathing that. So when it went on my face, my doctor, like he started like cutting me open. Y'all, I felt every cut. Okay, I felt the cut he made and cut my skin open. And I said, I know, the last thing I remember hearing was, That's exactly what I said. I was like, He was like, what happened? I was like, I could feel you cutting me open. Like I felt him. I felt my stomach pop open at the bottom. Like, yo, I will never forget that pain. Like it was just, I was like, what the hell? Like I felt him. I felt the knife just juking and going. When I watch people like on YouTube and they be like, oh yeah, like surgery gone bad, and I felt the doctor cut me open, I'm just like, how? Until it actually happened to me. So I was just like, oh my god. So I felt him. The lady was like, my doctor was like, he told the nurse, he was like, you need to put more on her face because she's not fully knocked out. We got to knock her out because this is an emergency. Like he needs to get out or it's gonna get worse. So ended up putting that over me. Guys, I can't even tell y'all what happened next. But my son dad said he showed me the baby. Okay, I held the baby. My eyes was open. I don't remember none of this, okay? I don't remember. Like they said I looked at the baby and I was all happy and all this stuff. You know, they took pictures of him, and you know, I guess my son's dad had him. They put JJ in the little basket, you know, washed him off and everything like that. He was 7 pounds and he was born at 1:10 in the morning. My labor was 24 hours, and my doctor was on the money with that birthday. because he really came on the day he was supposed to come. Yeah, he was born an hour into, you know, the new day. So yeah, now when I got into the room, this is after my pregnancy, I finally woke up and I hear a baby crying, and I'm like, who the fuck baby is crying? Like, that shit woke me up. It woke me up. So I'm over here off drugs. They got me, I was off, I wasn't even on drugs yet. I was still on the anesthesia, the thing they put over my face. When I finally woke up, I heard a baby crying. I looked over, I'm like, oh my God, like, this is my baby. He was so cute and little, and I was so happy. Like, I was so happy, you guys. I'm like, oh my God. Like, so my mom had him. So, because they made my mom come in the room and everything and see him. I didn't even, like, I'm mad. I didn't even get to see, like, my mom come in, and I didn't even get to see how my sister reaction was, and I didn't get, like, nothing. I heard my mom, well, my mom and sister, when they told me they were sitting in the waiting room, and my doctor, he ended up leaving, and he had to go on vacation. Like, he had to go somewhere. So when he went out, I think he told them, and he see my mom and sister waiting outside, he was like, oh, you know, he's a healthy baby boy, he's cute, small, whatever. Like, he told them good news. So they just went on like that, and my mom got to see him. So yeah, that's actually my mom. That's JJ, my mom right there. And I was knocked out in that bed. Like, I was knocked out, you guys. I was out. So yeah, my son's dad was in the room as well, along with my mom and myself. Like, I was knocked out. My labor was the worst. My pregnancy was better. My labor was not as well as I thought it would go. I thought I was gonna be pushing, but I didn't have that choice. God was like, nah, I don't think you're ready to feel that pain. You dramatic. C-section it is. Like, he made that option for me. Like, girl, nobody want to hear you screaming down the hole. Like, shush, you feel me? Just cut this baby out of her and let's keep it going. Now this is me getting put in the other room. They gave me a room, and the room that I was in had a female in there. She just gave birth too, but she looked like she already had like 3 kids, and that was like her 4th one. Thought I was gonna be stuck in there with her my whole 4 days being there. But they moved me in there, and she was kind of there like sleep. She slept one night there with me. And with the hospital that I was in, my son's dad wasn't allowed to stay in a room with me at night to sleep there, because if there's another person in the room, like a female, he's not allowed to stay in the hospital. So he couldn't stay. So I think my sister ended up staying with me the first night. I'm not really sure, but I know my sister was there more than anyone else. You know, everybody was taking turns, but my sister is really a G. Like, she really was there, you guys. She was there. My mom was working, so, and you know, my son's dad, he was not able to stay there because he only came through the day, stayed through the day, and then he had to leave at night because he wasn't allowed to, you know, he couldn't stay. When the girl left, that girl that stayed there with me that night, that was on the other side and just had her baby, they put her in the wheelchair. Shorty had heels on and her newborn baby in her hand, and she was like, oh, bye. Stuff like, oh, congratulations. And her husband came and he was with her, got her bags and stuff. So yeah, I was there for the whole time. The whole time I was there by myself. Nobody else entered the room. It was just me in that big ass room. I realized that I was like bleeding a lot. So when they got up to change my sheets and my bed and everything like that, they were like, why? Like, the nurses was like, she's bleeding like a lot. Like, we don't know what's going on. But then I asked my son's dad, like, my son's dad did say, like, it was either my son's dad or the doctor was saying like a big puddle of blood came out when I gave birth, like, you know, and that was me not having enough iron. Her iron was not good during the pregnancy, so she's losing a lot of blood due to her low iron. So yeah, guys, I was bleeding so much. Like, the whole bed was full of blood. They were like, yeah, we don't know what's going on, we gotta get her checked and stuff like that. So they ended up changing me, and my doctor came in and took my vitals. One of the nurses came in and took my vitals, and it was very, very low. So my sister realized every time she was talking to me, I was falling asleep in the middle of conversations, and she was like, girl, I'm talking to you and you keep falling asleep. Like, she had to, Brianna, like and I'm like, she like, girl, why does girl keep falling asleep? The whole time I was losing blood. I was weak. Like, I was weak. And my sister didn't even know what the fuck was going on. Like, she's not thinking that, you know what I'm saying? She's just thinking like, okay, she just had a baby. I'm thinking she's tired. Like, you know, things happen. We're not thinking it's because of her having low iron. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they came in, they was like, oh, her vitals are low and we're gonna have to try and figure out like what to do. So guys, they had to take my blood type, figure out what type of blood to put back inside of me so I could gain energy. So my mom was like, why can't y'all just take my blood and put it inside of her? And they basically told her like they can't do that. My mom was arguing with them like, what you mean I can't do that? Like, I don't even know what type of monkey blood y'all putting in my daughter. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, what y'all putting in her? Like, we need to know. So they were like, it's not monkey blood, it's just blood so she gains back her energy. And yeah, basically they read it and it was from a monkey. It was like, my sister was like, this is animal blood. Anyways, they put that shit in me, okay? I was on epidural. I had a tube inside of me to pee through because I couldn't go to the bathroom. And then I was on a long ass silver stick with the blood just pumping inside of me like a needle so I could gain my energy back. Because I was done for, okay? I was done. Yeah, I was losing blood. So they had to, once they found that out, they put that inside of me. So my mom was just so mad. She was like, oh, I don't know what type of blood they put in my daughter. Like, so annoying. Whatever. So yeah, little by little, I started gaining my energy back. And then the doctor came in, and one of the doctors I actually didn't like, and she was getting on my nerves. But the other two, they was cool. You know, they was cool. It was actually 3 of them, but 2 of them were nurses, and one lady was like a help. So yeah, when the girl came in, she was like, oh my gosh, you're like superwoman, your vitals are back normal now. And it was literally like a couple hours after I had the blood inside of me. She was like, yeah, she was like, you were slowly going and you didn't even know it. Like, if we didn't check your vitals and we left you like that, like, you would have been done. They ended up checking me and realizing that we fixed the problem. Now we on to problem number 2, okay? So they took my son to a room to check like for his hearing or something like that. But they took him in another room. I had to do a class on like shaken baby syndrome, and then I had to wait so they could check like his I think when I was doing the shaken baby syndrome class, they were checking like his vocals, or just to make sure everything is good. And if the baby had like a green dot or a red dot or a yellow, that means something is wrong, or he's partially okay, or he's great. JJ had a green one. That boy's lungs was working very well because he was crying, and I'm in the room watching the video and I'm like, that's my son crying. His dad was like, no, he's not. I'm like, yes, he is. I know my son's crying. He's crying. Like, he's crying. When we went to go check, I'm like, they were like, yeah, this boy got lungs on him, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I knew it was him crying. Like, it's a mother's instinct. Like, I knew that was my son crying. So I guess he ain't like the way they was touching him. He needed to be swaddled at the time. He was in his bag, or he was hungry. You know what I'm saying? All babies in hospitals have like an ankle, like a monitor around them on their ankle, so they know, like, they usually was like, you know, people steal babies out of hospitals. So now that, you know, they got this new updated system, like once you take the baby out the room or you try to like take it off, the whole hospital turns up. Like all the alarms is going off, they shutting down elevators. Of course, my son had to be the star of the show because one nurse went in the room. I think she was inside of the room and she touched the monitor. I was in the room because at the time my sister, she had went to the store, and my sister got stuck in the elevator, and she got stuck in the elevator, and nobody knew what happened. Like, everybody just kept hearing alarms, and little did they know it was JJ that was, you know, being messed with. So she kind of took the alarm off his feet, like off his ankle, and the whole hospital went off. Like, everything shut down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think security came in the room and everything. Like, they had to make sure, like, what's going on. And my mom was like, why she out here touching? Like, why she touching him for? Like, what's the problem? Like, what you came in here and did that for? She guilt, oh, I needed to check for something. Like, my mom was just looking at her like, girl, you didn't need to check for nothing. You just turned this whole hospital up for nothing. Like, you got people out here thinking we stealing babies. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, you know, turned up the whole hospital. And I'm just sitting there like, as long as my son is next to me, I don't give a damn. You feel me? Like, he's next to me. Y'all wildin', y'all almost shut this whole hospital down. Y'all got nurses and doctors and security coming in here and stuff because y'all thinking something is really wrong. Like, security really came in the room. Like, they're like, you know, they thought a missing baby was on the loose. But yeah, eventually everything started working again, elevator. So then my sister came in, they told her like what happened, and they was like, oh shit, like, that's crazy. So yeah, that had happened. Eventually the doctor told me, you know, he came back from his little 2-day vacation. He came in and he checked like my C-section scar, and I had like invisible stitches, and he was like, oh, you know, they're gonna go away and the tape is gonna fall off and stuff like that. But I had to like bend, like I had to lay down for him to physically check in. That pain was like, oh, that pain hurt so bad. I had to wear like a thing that kind of looks like a waist trainer. Yeah, I had to wear a thing that kind of looks like a waist trainer in order not to like be in pain, because after a couple days I had to walk around like the whole way and stuff to like my body back like to normal, to like be walking, since I had the surgery and stuff. When I was in the hospital and stuff, I went in the bathroom by myself, because it was like, you know, you got to do number 2 in order to leave, so we know that everything is back intact after the surgery. You know, they usually be like, oh, you got to use the bathroom. So yeah, they ended up waiting for that, and it happened. I did it. I was normal. I was good. I got the go ahead to go home. You know, I got the go ahead to go home and stuff. So it was good. Like, I was so happy. I'm like, thank God. These 3 days was here. And then there was one day where a whole family came to visit. His side of family, my side of family, that room was packed. And this was before, you know, what we're going through right now. And right now, you're not even allowed to be having people in the room. Probably go one person and that's it for the day. Like, you can't be telling everybody your moms to come. What? 2018 was lit. Everybody was in the room. My side of family, his side of family, like everybody was just in there. And it was summertime at that, like the kids, everybody. Yeah, you know, we got free diapers when I was leaving. You know, I got free diapers and I got free milk. I got free clothes. Like, they just started giving. The lady came in the room, one of the nurses came in the room, and she was so nice. Like, she was like, you want this? She's like, come, you take these, put the stuff in the bag, blah, blah. Like, my mom and sister was like, yo, put these in the bag. Like, my aunt too. My aunt was like, take this, because you don't know, you never know. Like, it was a big ass blanket that was on the bed that I had. She was like, take this and put it in your bag, because you don't know if you're gonna need it after you bring him home, whatever. And why the only thing I forgot was the waist trainer. I should have brought it with me, because I didn't know I was gonna need it. But thank God I already had one in the house, so I could actually walk around and function. Yeah, the first day, my son's dad picked us up, and I went to his house with him, and I was like, oh my God, like, I just kept looking at my son like, I cannot believe I got a kid. Like, this is a wild. I remember FaceTime my friend Tony after I had him, and she was like, oh my God. She was like, look at the baby. Like, she was sleeping too. She's like, I'm sleeping. When she woke up and I FaceTime, when she realized she woke up, she's like, oh my God, you're the baby. I'm like, yeah. And then she woke up, she was talking to me for a little bit, and I let her go back to sleep. Labor was different. Pregnancy was good, but the labor, woo, child, like, oh my God, it was a lot going on, like, in those 3 days at the hospital. First of all, they were supposed to give me a welcome, like a bye-bye basket, like a congratulations basket. Well, we're gonna let you leave with a basket. They never gave me no basket, like, but it's okay though, because after next time, if I gotta go back to that specific hospital and I have another kid, because I'm gonna be with the same doctor, God forbid, if anything happens to him, if nothing happens to him, I'm going right back to him. No, so yeah, I'm gonna have to ask them, like, I need a gift basket for my first son, and I need a gift basket for this baby, because y'all wildin'. Like, y'all not about to do that to me, like, no. So yeah, when I went home with him, yeah, I was still in shock. You know, everybody was happy, blah blah blah. It was, oh baby. He had an appointment 2 days after I had him. I had to take him to his appointment 2 days after, and everybody was like, you know, why are you taking him outside like that? But I remember my sister got him ready. Like, this was the day. Like, my sister put this outfit on him. We were both putting the clothes on him because he was so fragile. We were so scared, like, oh my God. But yeah, my sister helped me put that outfit on him, and that was his day of his first appointment. And yeah, my son's dad mom took me to the appointment just to check and make sure that he's good and everything. So yeah, like, you know, he was good. Got back home, mother duties, life. When I had my son, I was like 174 pounds. Like, I ended up losing everything and dropping right back to 130 within a month, because my mom had me on straight smoothies and salads, fruit smoothie and salad. Listen, she came home with some curry chicken one day from Jamaica Flavors. I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, finally some food. Like, finally some food. But yeah, like, I ate that up. Like, y'all don't understand. Like, I ate that up. So, but that was everything that happened. But honestly, like, I can say now, like, being a mom right now, it's hard, it's difficult. I have my days where I cry, you know what I'm saying, a lot of days like that. Sometimes I cry in silence. People don't even know I be crying, but I dead ass be crying. Like, I have my happy days. I have my days where I'm just like, yeah, I'm a super mom. I did this today and I had him. And I like being a mom, it just comes with different emotions. Like, it's different emotions and different emotions, and you know, it's just a beautiful thing. You feel me? Like, it's a blessing. Like, when you see your kid grow and stuff like that, like from me watching my son grow for 3 years, like I've seen a lot. I've seen a difference. His features change, and I'm just like, oh my god. Like, I remember when he wasn't talking, you know. I remember his walking stages. Like, I remember when he first said mommy, and the first time he said mommy was actually on Mother's Day. I was so happy. I was like, oh my god, my baby. I mean, like, oh my god, my baby. Like, you know, JJ is just, he's getting so grown now, you guys. Like, he's a lot of me, he's a lot of his dad. Patience is one thing you have to learn when you have a child, because I'm telling you, like, it's just gonna be a lot. How's motherhood now? Like I said, it's a lot of emotions, but I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love it. It always gives me something to do in the day. Like, oh, I gotta wake up, I gotta do this laundry. Oh, I gotta cook for him. Oh, sometimes it's tiring. Like, damn, like, I just got in my bed. Not you saying mommy again. Like, didn't I just get up and do something for you? Like, you know what I'm saying? But I want him. I was like, oh my god, I can't wait till you call me mommy. I can't wait till you call me mommy. Now, mommy this, mommy that, mommy help me, mommy this, mommy so yeah, you know, my son is potty trained now. He feed himself. He go in the cupboard, get his own chips, pour it. Like, he's at the stage where he's doing a lot of stuff right now. So, you know, he's in school. It just went fast. 3 years went very fast. Even though people say that's the best stage, like, I wasn't ready for them nights, those nights I had to stay up. He used to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning faithfully, like, and he had a thing where he was actually going through like gas pain, because it was like the Enfamil, the regular yellow Enfamil, like the regular one, it wasn't doing him well. So I had to end up switching to the purple can, the Gentlease, and that was fine. Like, he was drinking that and it was good, because that yellow can like had him staying up all night. I'm like, yo, what the hell? So yeah, I got told to buy gripe water and give it to him. But yeah, gas pains was hitting him, like, and then I realized it was Enfamil, so I had to end up changing it. And I guess Gentlease is for, you know, the ones that need that type of, like, you know, if they have gas pain or any, you know, stomach pain or whatever, maybe Gentlease is just a better one. And that's what was good for my son, so that's what I had him on. But listen, having a kid, I realized how fast them Enfamils go, and those are not cheap. They're expensive. So imagine spending your money on Enfamil. Like, no. Like, even breastfeeding was hard. Like, I could not deal with that. Like, my boobs was engorged for so long because I had to, it was just there. Like, it was just there. So I had to end up putting like a warm rag on it for it to leak out, for it to soften up. Because guys, I'm telling you, like, it was not good. It wasn't well. Like, it was not going well at all. So yeah, like, my nipples were like cracked and they were bleeding, and I was trying the hardest to feed him well, but it was hurting so bad to the point where I was crying. I'm like, I can't do this. Like, his gums is crazy. Like, nah. So yeah, that's how he ended up getting on Gentlease, because my boobs was hurting. It was hurting. I was like, I can't do this. So maybe with my next kid, maybe I'll figure out how to breastfeed better, or maybe that baby's gonna be not so aggressive with me, because JJ was aggressive. So I'm not saying I'm gonna try again, but my first time breastfeeding, it was difficult. Like, I think I only breastfed for like 3 months, if I'm not mistaken, or 2, but it wasn't long. It was not long. Yeah, I feel like I'm done telling my story here, but like I said, y'all mom and dads out there, y'all got it. If y'all gotta cry, y'all got y'all days when y'all cry, and if y'all gotta come under my post and talk about something, then y'all talk about it, okay? Y'all can talk about it with me. Like, I'm here. Y'all can relate. I can relate to y'all. Y'all can relate to me. You feel me? So yes, guys, Vlogmas 21, my pregnancy story time video is officially done. So I thank you guys for sitting here watching this video from beginning to end. If you guys have any more questions, and I want to hear another story about anything else y'all have, any questions y'all have, just let me know. Like, I don't mind, you know, putting it out there or whatever, you know. But I appreciate sharing this with you guys, because I never thought I would, but I feel like it was about time, you know. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video. See you guys in the next video in Vlogmas 22. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Love you guys.
Every day of the week.
Look, come here, baby, let me crumble your cookie.